the most important thing is we've got to remember we like each other, because we spend almost every waking minute together between working together, raising kids together. It's a lot. So we've got to get along.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Real Podcast. I'm your host, David Moya. Today we have two special guests, Allison and Tim Shepstone. They are phenomenal people, local here to North County, San Diego, specifically Encinitas. But I wanted them to come on the show and talk about, one, their amazing listing, of course, but also talk about, how they got started, how they pushed through, especially the last year, coming out on top now, did really well last year as well. And just having the right mindset to persevere even amidst, a challenging time. So Tim, Allison, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So fantastic that we got to meet. We got connected, or we got referred over to you guys to help you with one of your amazing listings. I'm excited to share that with the rest of the world here soon. But you guys have an amazing story, real authentic people, yet hardworking, very entrepreneurial mindset. You guys have just this ability to juggle a lot of moving parts through the business, from Airbnb to design and remodel, and to obviously sales. How did you guys get started?
It was a long time ago. I'll let Tim start, because we kind of worked our way up for sure.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a long evolution at this point. But I started actually right out of grad school, and bought my first condo from a landlord that I was renting from, and had another friend that was getting interested in real estate. I wasn't in the business at all, but saw an opportunity and bought the condo, sold it 8 months later, made some money. And I started getting really interested in doing that as a kind of a side project. My job was very flexible as medical sales. And so I started buying properties, doing some renovations to them. I bought some new construction condos, and it kind of just evolved. And I got to the point where my realtor wasn't working quick enough. The market was too fast, and he wasn't available to show me properties before they were gone. So I ended up just getting my real estate license just so I could purchase my own things more quickly. So that kind of snowballed, and I got to the point where I was getting a lot of friends and family contacting me saying, "Hey, you know what you're doing all this stuff for yourself. Can you help me?" So it kind of just evolved into a second job for me. And that was right around the time that Allison and I met. And she was working in another industry as well at the time. But she got very interested in it as well. We bought our first really big rental project together, and did an enormous renovation on a house. It was an old Victorian house that was built in 1881. And it was a huge project. We actually did a ton of our own labor at that point.
Took us about a year to fully renovate it.
Wow.
We were in our 20s, so a lot more energy and a lot less kids.
Yeah, fewer distractions.
But it went really well. And so we kind of continued to be interested in the investing side. I was getting busy enough in real estate that it made sense for Allison to get her license too. And then she kind of took over as the realtor, working more, because I still had my other job that was really kind of paying the bills and allowing us to invest.
Sure.
And it just kind of slowly took over, and real estate engulfed our lives.
I think a big part of it is we allowed it to. We really liked it. We really enjoyed it. It started as a bit of a passion project, an investment for him. And I came on and it became a passion project for me too. And so it was one of those things that I think that our friends and family were really sensing, that there was more to it than just us investing in our own projects. We'd have friends over for dinner, and it was just constant conversations about real estate and design and investment potential and stuff. So I think that part of it was people could kind of see, and people started asking us, like, why aren't you guys just doing this? You guys need to be doing this.
Right.
And so, yeah, everything just kind of started clicking into place for us then. And that was about 10 years ago now, that we both decided to really dive in and make it be what we do.
That's fantastic. And so fast forward to now, you guys have been working together 10 years or so. You've done renovations. Tim, I can tell you that you guys definitely have an eye for the real estate. And obviously you bring in a lot of sales experience to the team. And then Allison, just watching you on Instagram, you guys are constantly, looks like you're constantly doing renovations.
Mhm.
You're busy, right? And you're helping homes feel more livable, more elegant. How did you guys find your roles?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I don't think that either of us set out with the intention of creating a specific role for us.
Yeah.
And it's something that really naturally evolved, that as we did more, we realized, left brain, right brain kind of focuses for both of us.
Yeah, it ended up, our personalities and our strengths and our weaknesses really work well together.
Nice.
I'm much more analytical. I really look at the investment side. I really want to know the market, the details, the numbers. And Allison really found a fantastic ability to create and design. It's really worked well for our business to kind of collaborate together, and her strengths are my weaknesses and my weaknesses are her strengths. So we turned out to be a good team.
We got lucky. It worked out for a reason.
And husband and wife team. So Tim, obviously Allison has no weaknesses. She's flawless, right?
Well done.
So,
No, I mean, I can completely admit that, I've often wondered, real estate is such a dynamic role. And for any realtor to truly do it all on their own without some sort of a team, filling in some of those blanks has always kind of boggled my mind.
Right.
And I think that that's one thing that has just worked and fit so naturally for us is,
Yes.
where one of us excels is, in a different spot where than the other one does. And so we really kind of make a full package.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that, I'm blown away by people that can kind of just do everything all at once. And I feel like because we have both of us, it really brings a different dynamic to, working with us, finding the investment properties. Not only can we see the full financial analysis of it thanks to Tim,
Right.
but we can kind of see some of the design and architecture and ability to transition it and, create wealth within a new property that might be missed otherwise.
So let's talk about that. You guys crushed it last year as well. I think you did 20 million plus in a very challenging time. How did you find the mindset? How did you find that in you to be like, hey, let's push through? And now you're on the other end of that, and it's almost like this market is rewarding you for that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year, to say the least. The global pandemic that nobody saw coming, the initial pause that happened in real estate, it threw us all for a loop.
Scary.
Yeah, we had a great start to last year. We had a bunch of stuff going on. And then this hit, it became real, and we had 2 or 3 deals just fall apart immediately.
First ever deal we've had fall apart like that.
Yeah.
It was,
threw us for a loop. A buyer decided not to buy one of our listings, and then so they couldn't buy what they were buying. And it just, it really, I love the description of a glitch in the matrix, because it just like everything just paused. And I have to say, a lot of people panicked. I had clients calling me saying, is the market going to crash? What's going to happen? And I didn't see that happening. I saw a temporary pause in the market. And then I thought we would kind of resume back to normal.
Sure.
I also didn't see the pandemic lasting this long. So I was off on that, but I really thought it was going to be a pause, and then we were going to start again. Inventory was going to come back and things were going to kind of normalize. What I didn't anticipate is the absolute lack of inventory that we've had. And the way our world has really changed in people's intention of how they live. The fact that people can work remotely so easily now, and so many people they're reevaluating their lifestyles. And, you're seeing people that don't want to live in these super population dense cities or, even suburbs around the Bay Area and stuff where traffic is a nightmare. And all of a sudden you've got places like North County, San Diego, that is an absolute haven for people. So we've kind of seen the evolution, and now, the market is going crazy, and I think it's strictly supply and demand. And again, now you've got people freaking out that, we're going up too quickly. But I think it's a little bit of keeping a bit of a balance and not freaking out, not having clients, panic sell or panic buy for that matter. A little harder on that because you see prices going up a couple percent every month. But I think it's a matter of just, keeping focused on what's important. Everybody needs a place to live. And so it's finding that place that you're going to be happy. It's not a short-term investment either. If you've got a place where your mortgage is fixed, your taxes are fixed, you're going to be living there for 5-10 years, whatever it is. Don't worry about what the market's doing. If you've got a home that you're happy with and you can afford it, then that's the important thing. So I think it's funny. We always say there's a lot of, we act as psychologists a lot as realtors.
For sure.
And we see a lot of that, of trying to calm nerves and try to balance people out and not have them freak out. We've had numerous clients that have told us that they're having a baby before they've told their own parents.
Wow.
So we become a bit of a confidant and support going through what is a very emotional and stressful period, whether it's buying or selling. So I think it is, staying steady.
Yeah. And you've managed to kind of diversify the way you're serving the community, right? So you guys are renovating, you have sales, you have the Airbnb side, and at some point I'd love to have you guys back to talk specifically about the Airbnb business, because that for me is super intriguing. Going back to how you're kind of diversifying the way you're bringing wealth, you're helping people build wealth. What's that look like for you guys? In terms of wearing all those hats, right, and having the different roles. How did you get into renovation and then obviously now Airbnb?
Yeah, I think it's I hate to be so cliche, but I mean, we're at a point where we kind of live and breathe real estate and all aspects of it. And I think it's a real testament to, we're not just talking about it, but we're backing it up with what we're doing as well. And so when we're talking to clients about investment and potentials and ways to look at things, I mean, it's truly coming from a place of deep-seated belief, past track records of success, learning from mistakes. I mean, it's all coming from what we've done. And so we're walking the walk and talking the talk kind of a thing, Wow, that was a lot of cliches in one.
I gotta add another one. It's really just like a passion for real estate. I love it. I love, the pride of ownership, of owning a home and owning a property, living there, improving it. But then the other side of it is the investment. I think that there is no better investment in the world than real estate. The fact that you can leverage your money and, only have to put down 5, 10, 20, even 30% of the asset that you're buying, and you get 100% of the appreciation on it. You can rent it out. You can have somebody else even paying those bills for you. It really comes down to just I think real estate is fantastic. And we love to do it. We love to buy it, to sell it, to talk about it, to renovate it, to appreciate it.
Help people with theirs, it's you talk about what motivates us to keep going with this, and there's a lot of satisfaction in helping others to realize the same kind of joy that we find in this for themselves, whether it is a home that they can invite friends over to and proudly show off and entertain and host their Christmases at, or if it's the fact that you found a property that you can rent out and have somebody else paying your bills. I mean, that's something to be proud of, and to be able to create that and build that. with your property. I mean, whether you think of yourself as an entrepreneur or not, that is the entrepreneur spirit, is by creating something and building that wealth out of it, you know? So I think that that's something that we love helping other people find it, talking about it, living it, breathing it, doing it, all of it.
Yeah. And that's awesome because, you know, you don't always get that. There are a lot of people in this industry who can't do that, you know, aren't able to do what you guys are doing. So I think that that's such a great story to hear, because it's comforting if you're guiding a client and they know, like, they can see that you do this, right? If they follow you and in any capacity on social media, they know that you're doing this day in, day out, and that you are building wealth for yourself, then you can do that for somebody else. It's like, you know, a financial advisor giving financial advice and they're broke, right? That's not going to go. That's not going to go too long. So having somebody who can give advice, but then also, like you said, walk the talk, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think that, you know, there's one thing that we really try to focus on with our clients is by being able to add that extra value on the investment side and the renovation home side. It's about so much more than just knowing the market. Wow, that's really important too.
Right. Of course. Of course.
We're really big advocates when you're buying your own home for where you're living, and it's actually something that Allison taught me is how important where you live can be on your lifestyle.
He's putting that really kindly. I didn't really teach him. I forced him into it.
Yeah.
Back when we were buying our first properties, he was purely looking at the numbers, the potential, and I was looking at, well, let's have that, but like, let's also have a cool place to walk to and go out to dinner or something by our house, or a park that we can go hang out in, you know? And so, I kind of forced him to move beyond just the numbers, because there is more. There's so much more to your home, you know? So he put that kindly.
It is something though that we really focus on with buyers. You know, you have a lot of people that have an idea in their head that, okay, well, you know, we've got 3 kids, so we need 4 or 5 bedrooms. We need at least 3,200 square feet. You know, we need all these things that the house is, the property is, but what they oftentimes forget is how important where it's located can be, and how that dictates your lifestyle. And, you know, in North County, San Diego, you can be in Escondido or in Encinitas, and you're going to find, obviously the prices are very different, but you're going to find a very different lifestyle and access to things. And then even within Encinitas, you know, one neighborhood to the next can really change your lifestyle.
Right.
So it's really important to look at more than just the property. The day of cliches: location, location, location.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. And that's a great segue into, you guys have a perfect example of that, right? And that property that we just filmed. And you guys talked about the lifestyle. You talked about the people in the area, the access to different amenities, and even though people may subconsciously know that they're buying a community whenever they buy a house, I think it's great that you're reminding them, because it is a huge part of their life moving forward. You know, a lot of times people end up, you know, not actually being in their home as much as they thought they would be, and they're out doing things in their community, and they're like blown away with what they have access to. So to that house, Hillcrest, like, let's talk about that place, right? What's exciting for you guys about it?
I mean, it's a spectacular property. There's not much that isn't exciting about it. The location on top of a hill, the finishes in the property, it is all just a really fantastic place. But that location specifically within Encinitas is a very special place. The lot sizes there, the access to new restaurants that are coming all the time along the 101
right there
in Lucadia, and then beach access, the new hotel, the Alea, and even if you're going elsewhere in San Diego, you're on the 5 in a couple minutes. Yet when you get up to that house, it very much feels like your own private resort, and you have your little piece of paradise that you can retract to, yet still being a part of the community and close to everything.
Right.
I think, with the pool down there, it's even got I don't know if we really even filmed it, but there's a playground on the side for kids that they built in.
Oh yeah.
Got that, yeah.
Yeah. A fantastic little compound that is still, within the beach community, that gives you access to everything. It's not Rancho Santa Fe that, you're hidden off down a road way away from your neighbors. I mean, you're part of the community there.
Right.
Have access to all the great things that the coast life gives you.
From a standpoint of someone who's very analytical, how is this property attractive? And then obviously Allison, on the other side, it's like, when we interviewed both of you, you guys talked about, different things, which is fantastic, because again, just providing that perspective, that whole complete perspective on how awesome this home is. But Tim, if you could just not even try to sell the property, but for you, as someone very analytical, what do you look at when you're looking at this home?
It's the location is number one with any real estate. It is the most important factor, and not only the location within Encinitas, and again the access to the 101 and the 5 and the beach and all those things, but it's perched up on top of one of the higher hills in the area with just spectacular panoramic views.
Sure.
And then
I think if you look at the reality of recreating a property like this, you can't within Encinitas based upon the location, the lot. I mean, it is something that is really unique, and that is one thing that we look at when we do our analysis of properties is, what are costs to recreate, not just comparables, because there isn't much out there for the rebuild. Let's recreate. If I was to knock this down and try to do it, or if we could use this at highest and best use, what is it worth, and what are we going to have to do to it? And this property's there. It's that. And so I think that that's one thing that when we're looking at an investment and analysis perspective, to really keep in mind with this property. And from my angle, from the design and the architecture element of it, it kind of speaks to the same thing as the location, that they have dialed this place in. I mean, the lighting fixture that they have in the dining room is a new favorite of mine. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And, all the natural light and the open windows. I mean, they really took advantage of what this location had to offer, and they used it to its best potential, I think. You don't find it always, a lot of houses, especially where it's, tract home communities built a while ago. It was not about highest and best use. It was about how can we fit as many houses in as possible, and this property is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a special one. It's a special one for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I was born and raised in Encinitas, and to see how much this community has changed and what it has to offer for a variety of different clientele, whether you want to have a top-notch meal, whether you want to be able to surf before you go into work or whatever it is. I mean, this community now has that to offer, whereas when I was a kid, I mean, I remember Leucadia Boulevard didn't even cross through. I grew up in Village Park. It felt like it was an epically far distance to get to Leucadia, having to go around. And so, it's really come a long way in the last, I'll politely say 20 years, maybe. And so it's so great to see the growth and the community that it's attracting now, and the people that are moving into the area. It's just so great to see. And I think this property really can appeal towards what North County is becoming.
Yeah. And then you guys are such a big part of that, that whole community. And that's really cool. I mean, you guys have that local experience, but then you have that global reach and global backing and support with your brand. So that's really important, at least when we were interviewing, just pulling that from you guys, being able to showcase that, because I think the best of both worlds are when you have this global experience, but yet you are dialed in in an area and really live and breathe it, right? You're selling the lifestyle because you live that lifestyle, right?
We are, yeah. Yeah. We've got kids here.
Yeah.
You know, we live in, we just absolutely love our neighborhood. And I think that for us, when we move specifically where we're living now, it really kind of changed our life a bit based on the neighborhood that we're in, the proximity to everything, and it just really reaffirmed the value of loving where you live. When we were moving back to San Diego and considering where to live, we had considered maybe closer downtown, maybe North County, but we knew that at the end of the day that this was where we wanted to end up and that this is where we wanted to focus our business. So we decided to just dive in right away, come back here, and I mean, no regrets at this point.
Yeah. No, that's great. For you guys to do what you're doing, you know, it takes a team. It's been awesome to watch you guys do what you do. Thanks for inviting us to interview you guys for your property video that's going to be released soon. You obviously have to have some sort of work that gets done for you guys individually as a team in terms of your mindset and how you approach the day, how you approach your business, how you approach even raising a family together. You know, is there anything, you know, might not feel unique to you, but if you share it, I'm sure there's a lot of uniqueness to it because it's something you experience individually. But is there something that you guys could share about that? Just your mindset. How do you approach your day? How do you approach your business? And your family?
Yeah, it's, I mean, I think that the most important thing is we've got to remember we like each other because we spend almost every waking minute together between working together, raising kids together. It's a lot. So we've got to get along and respect our boundaries and what each of our roles are and make sure that, you know, we give time for those roles and appreciate what the other person is doing.
I think communication is really key for us as well. You know, I've got friends that don't work with their spouse and they're kind of, you know, have a shared calendar and that's like how they deal with it and they check in at the end of the workday. I mean, we are checking in like hourly with each other to see where are we at, what have we done, what have we accomplished, what's still on the to-do list for today, what's coming up tomorrow. Let's make sure we've got it all prepped, you know. So because no 2 days in this business are the same. Right? They aren't. And it's not like, you know, back to Tim's original point of why he got his license, if his realtor wasn't acting fast enough. I mean, it's not like our days are planned out in advance. We've got to be able to just go at a moment's notice when a client needs it, you know. So
and there are no office hours. So
yeah,
everything integrates. Family, work, investments, they all have to function together on a constant basis.
Yeah.
So it really does take a lot of planning, coordinating, and communication for sure.
But when it's working, it feels like, I mean, like when a day goes well without any glitches or hitches or someone forgetting something, you know, and you just kind of are nailing it, it feels so great. And it feels like you can do it again. And it's really motivating in that regard. Yeah. And, you know, I think that the communication is so key for us.
That's a great story because I think a lot of times even on a family level, like you can miss that too. And I'm on a group there with you guys, and I love how you guys, I'll ask a question and you guys check in with each other, and then, you know, we find solutions together. So I think that is key, communication, because then when you have that communication going on with your family, your partners, your team, then your machine actually works well and you're well oiled and you can actually get stuff done. And
respect for each other's strengths too, you know, and weaknesses, and like, where can we help out? You know, or is this one a little tough for you right now? Let me step in and help out. I've got time. And I think that can relate to raising a family, work. I mean, anything, you know, respecting your partner's strengths and weaknesses is huge.
Or just strengths, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes, just strengths. Look, you know, I'm with you on that, Tim, for sure. So, you know, I just want to wrap this up. I know you guys have a lot going on today, and especially in this market. So I appreciate you taking time to be on the show today. Just do a little quick interview. I think you both, you know, have something very valuable to bring to the market. So I appreciate you guys sharing and taking the time to share with us today. Is there a place that you guys, obviously I know this, but is there a place where people can connect with you guys on and see you guys doing your thing?
Yeah. Our website is teamshepstone.com, and that is our real estate website through our brokerage, which is Swell. We're based out of North County. And then we also have 2 Instagram accounts. If you want to follow real estate information, it is at Team Shepstone. And I have a kind of design-based account where I go through some of our renovations and share other designers and information, DIYs, and that's at _Shepstone.
Nice. Yeah, I just put that up there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep, see that? Thank you.
Yes, perfect. Well, thank you guys both so much. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to be releasing an amazing video where they both get interviewed about their amazing property. Thank you guys again, and keep crushing it. Keep being that great example that you guys are for the local community and the rest of this real estate industry. So thanks so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much
Thank
for
you,
having
David.
us. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.